Hello, this is Statler Smith. You are watching one installment of a weekly series where I write an essay about something that's on my mind, record myself speaking that essay, and then upload that video to YouTube. For reasons set forth in the initial video in this series, this is a practice for myself. As such, this video will likely not be entertaining or particularly educational. Perhaps one day I will have value to add to others, but in the words of Aragorn, King of Gondor, it is not this day. If you choose to keep watching, feel free to give feedback on the clarity of thought and speech, as that is what I am trying to improve. Please let me know if you have undergone a similar journey or have tips to share. And who knows, maybe I will eventually add more video editing. With that, let's get into this week's essay.
Over the past few months, this project has been the first in a series of dominoes to fall that are changing me, right? We've discussed this before, but a few recent experiences have given me cause to reflect a bit more about some specific changes. Now, in a few of the earlier essays, I've reflected on the change that this project has wrought within me. Just creating something and publishing it has, and being consistent with this has molded me into somebody who is consistent, who can do these types of things. Um, and I've talked through how this has improved how I speak. This has improved my ability to pause and think of the words appropriately, right? Amid other things as well. But this was the first domino. This project was the first domino to fall. The next was starting my AI project. I decided to give up games on my phone in favor of learning about AI and documenting my journey. And so I learned about AI. I make YouTube videos about what I'm learning and how I respond to what I'm learning, etc. And I post those videos on a channel called AI Adventures. The video quality is about the same as this channel, so that is to say, it's not that great. But maybe one day I'll get. Maybe one of my sub projects there will eventually be how to use AI to make your videos better, and at that point, these will get better as well. Anyways, that channel started in much the same spirit as this channel, where I wanted to learn about AI, and I wanted to give myself some sort of accountability, some sort of consistency that requires me to do more than I normally would on a regular week. It's primarily selfish because I don't want to get worried about getting views, and it's a good thing that I don't want to get worried about getting views because if I cared about getting views, I'd be real sad. Yeah. Um, but that was the next domino to fall. Starting that AI project. Adding on another project, of course, has helped me learn more things. That's been helpful. But the more influential part is, again, how it's changing me. In a similar way to this project, the AI project that I've been doing um, has required more consistency. It's required more work. And I can feel myself kind of stretching my boundaries and exploring more of what I can learn. And that confidence has started to kick in with a couple of other things as well. For example, a few weeks ago, my wife and I were visiting her parents, my in-laws. Now, my father-in-law is very interested in AI. He's a corporate lawyer, and it turns out, with a lot of words, AI has a lot of potential. So he told me about one thing he wanted to automate, where he has these templates and then these statements of work type of documents, where it's kind of a high level piece, where they list out the vendor, the terms of the agreement, all these other things, and he has to. Well, I'm going to get too much in the details here, but he has to spend time copy and pasting from one into the other. So I talked to them about it, and I built a code thing. I took it as a challenge for me to complete to build something for him to do this. And within the week, over the course of about 5 to 10 hours, I had built a Python program to automate that whole process. I haven't touched Python in years. I've never really used Python to analyze a PDF, extract text, etc. And I had never really before connected to the OpenAI API. I think I had done a bit with the Gemini API before that, but the OpenAI was new to me. Um, and if I was more experienced with those, it would have taken less than 5 to 10 hours. But with using Gemini to help me assemble the code and walk me through some of the more problematic parts, I learned a lot quicker than I expected. Now, of course, maybe is it more shallow? Debatable. But I was able to get through a lot more, and I did learn a lot more quickly because I was able to ask Gemini why certain things worked, and I did that because I know that you need to do that if you want to understand what you're doing. um, but that's all beside the point. At some points in that process, I found myself paralyzed by how fast I was moving, by how quickly the code was coming together, by how quickly the tests were working. Um, it felt as if there were barriers in my mind that were slowly being dismantled. Fast forward a week or two, I'm continuing with the plan to start a business, and actually test this in the world. I signed up for this automation fast track course, which took about $100 from my bank account, with the promise to refund, of course, if I finish the course. So theoretically, it's free, right? Um, but with this, I felt a similar sense of paralysis, kind of sense of shock at what I'm doing. After this most after that after signing up for the automation fast track, and actually paying money for it, I sat in my car for a bit just to feel and try to identify what it was I was feeling. The closest, the best way to describe it was almost in a question, like, who gave me permission to do this? Who said it was okay? Whose instructions am I following? And the answer is nobody's. And when I think of that, it's like, why am I okay with doing that if nobody said it was okay? Um, Now that revelation was fascinating to me. Identifying that feeling was really interesting. I'm an adult, right? I'm a grown-up man. I make solid, reasonable choices, right? I don't do stupid things. I am smart. Um, Arguably, I'm sure. I've moved away from my parents. I have this independent streak in me where I want to do my own things. But I still felt like I was at the edge of a cliff. Like, who told me this was okay, right? And it's wild. I still felt that way. And it feels like I'm fighting against my own programming to to do this. It's a little terrifying. I mean, of course, not only the fact that I was feeling that way, but the feeling itself was rather terrifying. It feels like I'm at the edge of a cliff, on the precipice of jumping off, of cliff diving, right? Or bungee jumping or skydiving or something like that, where I can't really see the bottom. Um, but at the same time, it's exciting, it's exhilarating because maybe it's my independent streak, but I'm identifying this part of me that still relies on other people, and I am getting rid of it. I'm running into the fear, um, and I know I'm going to be a better version of myself. I'm going to be more competent, um, more confident. I've already felt that, and more able to help other people through their struggles as well. Now, um, a few days after experiencing that intense fear and being shocked at my own audacity for doing something, I had a first kind of sales call. And I say kind of is because since I'm starting out, right, I want to do like 4 or 5 free process audits and then free automation along with that. So I say kind of a sale because it was somebody that I was doing it free for. Um, and my friend accepted, but it's free, so I still need to spend the time and whatnot. But I count it as kind of a sale. And now these dominoes are all falling in quick succession. To think that 3 months ago I started this whole, I think this actually at this point, at the day I'm recording, I think it might be 4 months that I started recording these essays, writing and recording these essays. Um, and it felt scary to me then. I remember publishing the first video. It was terrifying. Um, Still a little bit scary, but I know now that nobody watches these, so it's less scary. um, I'm also excited at the prospect of the compounding interest that this will bring me, right? I've been doing this for 3 months, and I think it's pretty sustainable. My wife doesn't hate me, so that's good. But as long as I keep doing this, the compounding interest will continue to accrue, and I will get better and better at talking to a camera, writing my thoughts down, all the things, and at some point, um, I'll learn a skill that makes these more interesting. Yeah. So, the future is uncertain, but I believe it's bright. If you're feeling the need for permission to do something, here it is, right? I felt like somebody had to give me permission, and if you feel that same way, I give you permission to to start to start growing. So I am a better version of myself than I was a few months ago, and I look forward to continuing to be a better version of myself. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.